Hi friends, it's Monday, July 14th, 2014. Beautiful numbers and Bastille Day. Happy Bastille Day. Lynn and Jamie here, continuing our work in the D.C. area. We have two big assignments in front of us, two overarching assignments. The guide said, "What's your overarching assignment?" "To trigger the awakening whose time has come." "And what's your immediate assignment?" "To learn to live on light." That's right. Not only for us, but for the biosphere. Friends, it's time. It's time for us to evolve, not devolve. With this civilization coming to an end, the goal is not to go back to scrabbling in the dirt for subsistence farming. The goal is to evolve, to take the next step. So, this is a project that may take some time, because we start where we are, use what we have, and do what we can. Big goals don't happen overnight, but they are worthy goals. So we're working toward this worthy goal, and it may take us some time to get there. We're okay with that. Each day we chip away at it. Now we begin. Goodbye easily available food. We know the assignment is to move forward into the next stage of evolution, and so actually it doesn't matter, right? Right, it doesn't matter. We would have to let this go anyway, right? Right. Sometimes it's easier to let things go when they aren't an option anymore, right? Right. Sometimes we hold on to things just because we can, right? Right. So we can let this go. I feel like I'm putting down a heavy weight, actually. Like I've been carrying a very, very heavy weight for a long time. I can just set it down right here and move on without it. It feels so much freer. Now let's walk over to that tray of tools that has to do with stem cell activations. Do you see that tray of tools? Yeah. Let's get the tray, turn around, and we start walking into the past. That's the key. Not come into the present moment with this. Walk right through the present and into the past. All of a sudden we're down in those tunnels, the white tiled tunnels. I have the feeling we're too shallow. Let's intend to go to a deeper tunnel, the deepest one that's tiled. Oh, there we go. There. And now let's start walking to the past. Whoa. Carrying these tools. Ask the future beings to show us where we should work. See them waving ahead of us, which is in the past? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's just go to there. Wow. And now I see that little 8-year-old girl. She's going to tell us how to use the tools. Do you see her? Yeah. Like she's showing us how to assemble something. It's like we have all the parts to a machine, right? Right. And she's showing it to us already all assembled. It's like, it just looks like this. And so first we find all the parts and we just line them up. They're weird parts. Like they look related to parts I'm familiar with. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like out of the corner of my eye, I would say, "Oh, that's a lug nut," and then you turn and look at it, and it's like, "Oh, that's not. That's not." And then, but I see the things that look like lug nuts and bolts and that kind of stuff. But then I also see a thing that looks like a scalpel, and yeah, it's like a mixture of tools from various professions. Yeah, like here are the mechanics tools. Right, I see like wrenches, and then I see like scalpels. Yeah, and then I see like what look like what are those things called? The computer chips, the silicone chips. Like but like the ones inside the computer. Yeah, the ones you never see. Right. Yeah, I see those. Programming. So that has to do with beliefs, mental stuff. The guides are saying, what could this mean? So, mechanical things could mean just very mechanical functions of the body. The programming has to do with how we think about food. Like, there's a lot of eating that happens because of, not because of physical needs, but because of other cravings, cravings of the emotional self, cravings of the mental self, right?
Right.
That aren't actually cravings of the body. They aren't needs of the body. And so the nuts and bolts might represent the actual needs of the body that now can be met in a different way, right?
Right.
The silicon chips might represent the needs of the mental body that can now be met in a different way, right?
Right.
Pulse the vortex way down in this deep dimension, remembering where we are. We're really deep, and we've walked backward into the past, right?
Right.
So where we're working, fundamentally, is in the back, lower regions of our pillar, if we were facing forward, right?
Right.
This is the part that's always the trouble zone, right?
Right.
So it makes sense that this is where we're working, right?
Right.
Way down deep in the foundations of life and in the past. Now, if we look at the walls on this tunnel, there are markers that look kind of similar to mile markers, but they're time markers.
Yeah.
They're on, now to me, they're kind of like in that fluorescent orangey.
It's that orange that you see on trails.
Yes,
To
that's
mark
what it is.
wooded trails.
Yes,
But it's
the blaze.
time.
It's time. This could be 40,000 years. It doesn't. It could be 40,000.
It doesn't feel like more than 40,000.
No, it doesn't.
40,000 feels good.
So fundamentally, the start of this last cycle of civilization.
Right.
So here we are at the start of this last cycle. The cycle just completing, right?
Right.
And so we're at the beginning of it, because this cycle hasn't gone very well.
No.
It has not gone well at all, actually. It's gone. It's a branch growing completely in the wrong direction, right?
Right.
Not growing up at all. And what do we do when there's a branch growing in completely the wrong direction for the health of the tree, for the good of the tree?
Cut it off.
We cut it off. So we're working right here. When this branch is just new, starting to grow, and it could still grow up, right?
Right.
It could still grow up. So we're back here 40,000 years ago in a real deep dimension. We see our guides way up there, right?
Right.
Connecting into that pool of healing frequencies or bag of living waters. It feels like it's living waters. Just drawing it down, drawing the living waters down, right on into this space way back in time in this deep dimension. Wow, a big delivery of living waters. Now we can get going. And now we just start with the mechanical things. You see all those nuts and bolts.
Right.
And look at her way of doing it. And we just start to try to assemble it. Asking for that 8-year-old girl to come show us what we've got wrong. Right?
Right.
She knows how to do this. Anybody knows how to do this. This is like learning shoelace tying and learning to ride a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
Sharp corners represent in or out, you know? Clink. Locking the doors, right?
Right.
Clink. I have a lot of sadness coming up doing this. Because I'm aware of how many people won't do this, won't do what's required, right?
Right.
Maybe no one else, really, right?
Right.
Maybe not even you, right?
Right.
Because this requires higher dimension energy, soul in the body all the time, right?
Right.
There's no other way to do it, right?
Right.
So we have to have our channels up all the time, right?
Right.
Because does soul energy leave when we bring our channels down and start imposing our own will on life?
Yeah.
It does. And then we have enough life force to run this metabolism machine?
No.
No, we won't. Only with our channels up all the time will it actually work, right?
Right.
This is why teaching this, this is an extremely advanced technique, right?
Right.
So people have to already be past the basics. Goodbye, old life.
Bye, old
Goodbye
life.
questions like, what do I want, right?
Right.
That's irrelevant. We only ask, what is needed? What is needed? What is needed? What does the situation call for? What helps the greater good right now?
Right.
What triggers the awakening? Wow! What moves us forward to the next level of evolution? That's the assignment, fundamentally, with this assignment of living on light. The assignment is to move forward to the next level of evolution.
Right.
Of course, getting the channels up is essential, an essential part of that. It won't happen without it, right?
Right.
But it doesn't end there, right?
Right.
Then we move beyond this incessant metabolizing. That's what the guides are calling it, incessant metabolizing.
Right.
We're always needing to have a sip of water or a bite to eat, or we need to pee, or we need to poop, right? Incessant metabolizing. So the next level of evolution is actually to move beyond incessantly metabolizing and into living on light. Not sunlight or daylight, but that which is light, which is love, which is truth, which is source. Right, I see how even with the way I work the universal grid, I try to keep the corners rounded. Isn't that fascinating? Yeah, just always looking for a way to let others in, leaving little gates, little gaps, little holes. This 8-year-old girl from the future is explaining to me how that just doesn't work. She's showing how my box won't hold water, and she shows how hers holds water. It's watertight. Did I get that wrong?
It's watertight and airtight.
Yeah, everything tight. Nothing gets in or out.
Right.
Except what's supposed to. Nothing unintended.
Right.
And she's showing me how mine is terrible. She's going, look how leaky yours is. That's not going to hold anything. What good is that? And she dunks hers in the water. Living water suddenly here. And it comes up full to the brim with living waters. It looks beautiful. She dunks mine in, and of course there's not a drop left because I have these big holes everywhere.
Right.
She's going, how's that working for you? Not very well. Yeah, the panels have like these pre-cut, they look like windows. Or like things like you could slide a tray through, like when someone's in prison and when someone's in prison, a prison of their own making, and you want to slide a tray through to them, giving them another chance. Well, this is my whole pattern, isn't it? So, using the magic hands on the panels, let's make, just with the intention to not have any holes. You know what we need? The musicians. Let's start to tune this work. I'm asking the musicians to watch. We'll just start tuning it to the perfect frequency. I ask about that, and she says, well, this is harder, her metal is harder to work with, and ours is something like when we're learning. She says, why don't you master that first before you use these materials? They do look upset. Why did I say that? They're going, oh my God, this is awful work. You can do better. Don't be so sloppy. Aim for higher standards. And they're showing how we can use the laser light, how they showed us the laser light trick.
Yeah.
And we haven't even used that, have we? No, we haven't. It's an alloy. And plasticity, or I might be getting the wrong word. We'll have to Google that. There's something they're trying to tell us here by making this point that it's like a plasticky metal.
It's amazing how even in a session,
it just goes. The moment we remove our focus from the alignment begins to deteriorate, and that's the truth of it. I noticed that we kind of floated up. It's like we weren't in that deep tunnel anymore. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And we kind of also floated toward the present, no longer in the past. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get back to where we're supposed to be working. Just in the work itself, we lost our bear. The moment we remove our focus from the alignment, it begins to drift back to where it was, right?
Yeah.